understand how different, or even if it is different or not. I mean, you've got to choose that line. We have the interim budget coming up now. We have elections coming up. How different do you think is 2024 historically? We talk about markets, or we talk about world economics, or India growth story.
The India growth story is only becoming more relevant because multiple points, multiple parameters are coming together. So the macro data points for India look stable. The fact that it is still, 50 to 60% of our profitability comes from domestic sector, domestic consumption, and does not have significant impact with the vagaries of the world outside, also to some extent gives us comfort. Relative to the rest of the world, our growth rates are, better. Flows from domestic investors are rising to a large extent, and incrementally now flows from global investors are also coming back to India. So all the tick marks that are required for a stable outcome are in place. The only variable, because all of this is coming in place and more flows are chasing companies, is that the asset class of equity, if it should be, let's say, priced at 100 rupees from a value point of view, is getting priced at 110 or 115, depending on sector to sector and company to company. So probably valuations are reflecting 1 or 2 years of return already priced in, and there is no room for any disappointment. Now, if the story continues, if companies continue to execute and profitability keeps rising, I think the journey will be stable. But the last quarter, we published a document called the report card, half-yearly scorecard of companies, that showed that revenue growth for corporate India was up by around 4 to 5%, whereas profit growth was up by 18%. Now, we can draw two inferences from this: that profitability is remaining intact or rising because raw material prices have come down and margins have improved. Commodity prices have come down, but the volume growth is not very high. The volume growth has now moved to single digit, and that can be a sign of worry. So we have to wait and watch over the next 4 quarters how these numbers play out. Apart from that, not just India, there are many parts of the world which are going into election, and there will be some bit of turmoil in lines that there can be changes. But in India, broadly, it seems to be consensus that the same regime comes back, and stability remains intact, and hence it should not be a matter of worry for investors, according to me. Election is not a matter of worry, according to me. If at all something is a matter of worry, it is global geopolitical issues and how global flows move. And because we are relatively more expensive than some of the other emerging markets, if flows decide to turn to some extent, that could be a matter of worry, and that can lead to intermittent volatility of 10 to 20%, which happens every 18 months or 2 years, election or no election. So that is a feature of the market. It is not a bug of the market.